Hello, everyone. This is Professor DePaulo welcoming you to Site 265, fully online this semester. And so I'm going to walk you through some of the basics for the online course, including the Blackboard environment, and I'll go through the syllabus and talk about what you need to expect for this semester. So you're logged into the Blackboard site. It should say something similar to this, although your course section and your semester may be a little bit different. The key for navigating the Blackboard environment is to look at this menu on the left-hand side once you're logged into my course. Of course, this is my Blackboard view, so your view of Blackboard will be slightly different. That means you won't see everything I see, but I'm going to talk about the things you need to attend to as you go about navigating through the course. So the first thing I'm going to start with is announcements. So any new announcements that I have will be placed uh, on this first home page. So when you first log in, you'll see the announcements. And I make many announcements. I also send those announcements to your email. So also check your email and make sure you're following the announcements as I put them out, because they're there to guide you so you don't make any mistakes and so that I address any issues that I need to be addressed during this semester. So that's automatically the default screen when you log into Blackboard. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, the first thing you should do is start on this e-learning orientation. Click on the e-learning orientation and go through this. Make sure you complete this, because this is going to help you submit assignments and navigate the course properly. Now, if you've done this already, you can skip through it. It's there only for people that are really doing online for the first time. And I know that some of you may be doing that with the whole situation that you're in, that we're all in. And so this e-learning orientation is useful. I've done it myself. It's pretty effective. I appreciate that the e-learning people actually made this for the students. So start with this if you haven't done this. If you've done this already, you can review it if you need to. If you know what you're doing, you can skip through it. I'm not counting this as points or anything. This is optional. But if you're not familiar with the Blackboard environment or doing an online course, this is a good place to start. So once you've done the e-learning or you're sufficient with dealing with the e-learning orientation, I want to walk you to this course information folder or tab here. So you're going to click on course information. That's going to bring up a couple of very important topics here. So the first one is something called Launchpad. Launchpad is the online homework program that I'm using, and I use it every semester for the online course. And so you need to purchase some version of the book with Launchpad. Now, that could be the ebook. So if you just want to buy the ebook comes with Launchpad, and you can purchase it directly from the publisher. And I'll bring you to the publisher's website shortly. If you want to buy the loose leaf text with the Launchpad program included, you must buy the package with the Launchpad code. Okay, so there'll be like a separate card that comes with the loose leaf text that is Launchpad. It has a registration code, and you need to enter that registration code into the Launchpad program if you buy it with the text. If you decide you just want the ebook for the next few months, you can buy the ebook, and the ebook will automatically come with Launchpad, or vice versa. Launchpad comes with the ebook comes with Launchpad. If you're comfortable reading the information online, and many of you are, some of you aren't. I mean, I read everything online pretty much these days. I mean, I have some physical copies of books, but they take up so much space that I've kind of migrated onto either a tablet or to my PC. And some people, though, are comfortable just reading the actual book itself, like having something physical in front of them. If that's the case, you can buy the loose leaf version of the book. You put it in a binder, and you buy it with the Launchpad access code. But you must purchase the Launchpad access code. You are given a 3-week free trial if you don't have the money to purchase it or you're waiting on financial aid, which you may be. You can have 3 weeks free of Launchpad. But after those 3 weeks, you need to then log in with the registration code. You must also use the same email account. So whatever email account you use for the free trial, you must use the exact same email account when you purchase it. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess, and I'm going to have like multiple accounts under the gradebook, and it's going to be a problem for me. It's going to be a problem for you. So please use the same email account if you're buying the temporary 3-week access, and then you convert that into the regular access, the full access after you purchase Launchpad. I understand that this is, another economic hardship. The problem is that there is really no effective online program for learning that is free. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you have to pay for things that are good, that are going to help you, and they're going to help you learn the material. And I really believe in this program, and I use it for my intro courses, and I've gotten lots of good feedback. I think it's better than some of the other publisher-based programs like Connect. I find it's a better learning experience. I really enjoy it. And I think it's worth purchasing, and it's going to help you learn, the material for the course. And there's a lot of material to learn. So I apologize in advance if this is another thing being thrown at you, but uh, it's mandatory for the course. And so check with financial aid, check with the CUNY Cares program if you're part of that. They've been sending money out. There's a wide variety of grants available too, and so look into that. But you must purchase the Launchpad program as part of the course. So here's the information. To enroll, you're going to go to this Launchpad website. It's going to bring up the book. The book is Lewandowski and Others, Discovering the Scientists Within, second edition. I've changed multiple books over the years. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's written in a very friendly manner. It's more for a teaching book rather than just a book full of jargon. I like this book a lot. I find this book to be very beneficial and helpful to the students. So please get either the ebook with Launchpad, which is cheaper, or the loose leaf, which is a little bit more for the actual physical copy. But a book in some form with Launchpad is necessary for the course. So if you're getting the book and you're getting Launchpad, read the book. It's very important to read it. It's going to help you progress through the homework assignments that I give you every week. It's going to help you with the discussion boards that you're getting every week. And it's going to help you with the exams. So please get the book, study it up, read through it, spend time on it. So one way you can get access, and actually they changed the free access. Now they've made it 14 days. So I apologize for that. It used to be 21 days. It seems like they recently updated it and reduced it to 14 days. So you're going to have to definitely buy the version after 14 days to continue to get access. If you don't have an account, you can create an account and it'll walk you through it. You're going to fill out all this information, hit next, and it's going to give you 14 days of a free trial, not 21. It used to be 21. And then it's going to allow you to purchase it after those 14 days or any time within those 14-day period of the free trial. Now, if you have an account, you can log into the account. Sorry, I got caps lock on. So I'm going to log into my account and I'm going to show you Launchpad. So here's Launchpad, here's my account. Obviously you're going to see something a little bit different, but you're going to have this welcome page. And it's going to have a bunch of different articles here. You can read through these if you want. These are just articles from the psychological community that you might find interesting. Yeah, this is not part of the course. This is just, for your education. These are upcoming assignments, and you can actually view it by month. Although this is my account, so you're not going to see everything the same thing. You're going to see it on your account. Or enter the course. And as you can see, I have assignments listed here, and I have the due dates right here. Here are all the due dates, June 7th. So basically, I'm giving you an extra week for the first week's worth of assignments because, everybody's a little bit delayed getting access to Launchpad, getting access to the course, etc. So you have to June 7th to turn these in. So the first week I've assigned the welcome unit, which is kind of, walks you through Launchpad, right? And then once you click on welcome unit, it brings you up. It brings you to what you have to, the to-do list here. And so if you see to do, that means you have to complete it. And if you click on it on the item that's to do, it brings you out actually to the assignment, and you do the assignment. You read through this, right? Um, Once I'm done with that, it gives me questions to answer, so I know what I'm dealing with. Launchpad, I know what I'm doing, and once you're done with that, it'll turn. Actually, it'll turn to green here, so it'll be completed. So you've done it. It'll say like 100%. So, for instance, if I'm doing the quiz part, and it says watch a brief video, and it's going to show me stuff here. It's going to just introduce you to the Launchpad. I just want to make sure you're looking at it, you know what you're doing, and you're getting kind of used to it, right? So you watch this whole video, which I've done before, and then you answer questions. And it actually won't let me answer the questions because I'm not a student here. But if I do this whole thing, let's see if I can do it as a student. So I do preview as student. So this is kind of what you're seeing. And you see this is 0% complete. So when I work on this to-do list, right? Okay, go back. It says done. So I opened this up and I read through it and I got 5 points. And now see that turns green. It says done, and you're good. And so the next thing I need to do is this section, the second part, which is the quiz. And if I do that, I'm going to get scored out of 10 points, and it's going to say done. And that's it. And then I'm done. And then this will say 100% complete, and it'll turn green. And that means the welcome unit is done. You finished that module, that component. And then you're going to move on from there. You're going to do chapter 1. And here's the text. So if you just click on these words here, it gives me the text. Click on it and I got the text. So if you have Launchpad, you have the ebook. It comes with Launchpad. It's free with Launchpad, and you can read through it. You hit next to go further ahead. Here's another page. Here's another page. And like, I'm perfectly fine reading things off of screens, but I know that everybody's different. So if you're not the kind of person that wants to read off a tablet or a screen, then buy the loose leaf copy. The bookstore has it. You can order it from the bookstore and they can actually mail it. They told me that they can mail it to you. So if you don't want to go into the bookstore itself, you don't want to come to campus at all, and you just want them to mail it to you, call them up and have them mail it to you. If you want to get it online, you can get it online also. The problem with online these days now is there might be delays shipping. So what I suggest you do is get the 2-week free trial at the start and then figure out how you're going to get it. Either you're going to get it from the bookstore if you want the actual loose leaf copy with the Launchpad, or if you just want the Launchpad access and the ebook, you can just purchase it directly online here. So in the Launchpad website here, you could just purchase access, and that'll get you the ebook and the Launchpad. So that's the easiest way to do it and probably the cheapest way to do it. But if you need a physical copy of it, you can order the loose leaf one from the bookstore and they'll mail it to you, or you could probably pick it up from them, but call first to make sure what hours they're holding and when you could pick it up. And if they want you to pick it up, they may prefer to mail it to you. So it's a little bit tricky this semester, but you can access it in some form. You have 2 weeks of free trial. I suggest you use those 2 weeks, and then in the meantime, within those 2-week period, you're buying either the access to Launchpad for the whole course, or you're buying the book in some form. And if you want to try to get it off Amazon, you could try getting it off of Amazon too. I just don't know what kind of delays in shipping you're going to have. So usually you get it in 1 day or 2 days. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I've been ordering from Amazon and getting things in like 1 to 2 weeks. So check with Amazon and see how fast they can get it to you. But within 2 weeks, you should be able to get it. If there's a serious problem with any of this, you can let me know about it, and I will contact the bookstore at the college, Barnes and Nobles. Obviously, I can't contact Amazon. So if you want to get it offline somewhere, uh, it's going to be a little harder. I think the easiest ones are either buy the ebook from the publisher, Launchpad directly from Macmillan here, or get it from the bookstore. Okay, so that's basically Launchpad. You can read through the text. You click on wherever it says to do, you need to complete that. And these are the points. So the quiz is always worth a little bit more. And so every week you're going to have different Launchpad assignments. The first week you're going to have the welcome unit, you're going to have chapter 1 and chapter 2. The second week you're going to have appendix B, chapter 3 and chapter 4. And so on, and I'll get to where you can see all that information. But this is Launchpad, and this is very important that you register for this and get access to it. So I'm going to go back to faculty view. Actually, you can either click on the ebook here. If you want the entire ebook, you click ebook, and here's your entire ebook. You click on the chapter, you can read it online. Probably the easiest way to do it. So let me get out of here. So that's Launchpad. Let me go back to Blackboard. So that's the first thing under Course Information tab. The syllabus. Let's go through the syllabus. So the syllabus is fairly basic. This is a 4-credit course. You're supposed to have two 200-level psych courses as prerequisites for this course. This is about a 6-week course. However, it's a little bit less than 6 weeks. The way the academic calendar is shaped up, it's really kind of a crazy fast turnaround between spring and summer. And so there's going to be a lot of work because it's basically an entire course that's compressed into a little bit less than 6 weeks. Office campus is closed. So the offices are closed. The bookstore may be accessible. So please call the bookstore and make sure, if they have hours, if they're, how to get the book from them, if you're buying the book from them, whether they'll ship it to you or whether you can pick it up. My office will be closed. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with, what's happening in the summer, but basically everything is going to be online. I have a lot of experience doing online, so for me, it's not a big deal, but everything's online. And campus is closed, so I will not have office hours per se in person, and I will not be available to answer phone calls. So the preferable way to contact me is through email. I answer my email a lot. I'm answering it constantly. So I check it often. I answer it pretty quickly, especially with the situation in the world. I mean, there's really not much going on, so I tend to check it even more often when there's not much going on. So email me. You got a problem? I will also be available through Zoom. So that'll be Monday, Wednesday. I will send out the invites through Blackboard. I'll post announcements and I'll send you emails for the invites for the meeting. So show up. You don't need an appointment. If you show up at 2 o'clock on Zoom, Monday, Wednesday, I will be there. Now I'm having problems with my webcam, so you may not be able to see, me on the camera right now because I need to get a replacement. But that's, you're not missing much. You're missing the months of not getting a haircut and the sleep deprivation and all the other crap that's gone along with this whole COVID situation. So actually, it's probably better that the webcam is broken. So you can meet me through Zoom, 2 p.m. Monday, Wednesday. I'll be happy to answer your questions, uh, walk you through anything, and by appointment. So if you can't make it Monday, Wednesday at 2, we can work out some alternative, and I'll try to make it. I'll try to be as flexible as I can. I do not do the mornings, especially now, because things are just really bad. Like with regulation of sleep, I've been having insomnia for the last how many weeks. It's just not a good situation. So mornings, I'll be really, really not happy in the morning. I tend to be very cranky in the morning. So if you can push it to the afternoon or evening or even late at night, I'm definitely a night person. So uh, 2 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, or by appointment. Course description, we're going to learn about research. So you may not be too excited about that, but it's important. And we'll be doing a online group research project, and that will involve doing mental rotation task. So we'll be doing that. I'm going to show you that at the end of this video. And you're going to be learning all about writing up a research paper in APA style. That means an entire manuscript, a research manuscript. So conducting literature review, collecting data. I will collect the data. You'll participate in the data collection, but I'll be gathering the data together, analyzing the data for you, and then you'll be writing your discussion section of the manuscript based on how I've analyzed the data. So I'm going to help you out with this stuff because that's kind of more advanced. Even if you do know stats, it's can be a little trickier if you're doing more advanced things. But I'm going to walk you through the data analysis. You're going to be doing all the rest of the paper. You're going to read through the student learning outcomes. We'll be talking about all different things in this class. Here's the required reading, as I mentioned before. Launchpad. If you want the loose leaf version, this is the listing price, $114.99. That's the loose leaf with Launchpad access. And you can get that through the bookstore. I'm not quite sure what the price on the bookstore is. It's probably a little bit higher. The bookstore is Barnes and Noble, so they can charge what they want. However, if you buy the product, if you just buy the ebook with Launchpad directly from the publisher, it's going to be cheaper. So if you don't want this loose leaf version that the bookstore has, you can just purchase the ebook here. And I have a 3-week free trial, but they've changed it to 2-week free trial, so I made a mistake. It used to be 3 weeks. You have 2 weeks, and then in those 2 weeks, you need to get permanent access. Please use the same email address for the free trial as you do when you purchase full access. Very important. Use the same email address, otherwise, you're going to have 2 accounts, and I'm not going to know which account you're using, and it's a mess, so you have to do that. Course theme, Google is not a synonym for research. Well, that's true, except if it's Google Scholar. If it's Google Scholar, then it is kind of a similar synonym for research. But regular Google search is going to give you all kinds of crap that is not going to be research. So Google is your friend, and I love Google, and I have a lot of Google products, but Google is not good at giving you peer-reviewed research unless you're using Google Scholar, which I use all the time. So Google Scholar is the way to go. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Yes, there's lots of things we don't know about the world. And research is the only way we find out. So if you're wondering about, will the world ever be the same again since COVID-19 came into our lives, the answer is research. Without research, there would be no vaccine, there would be no treatment, and we'd be living this kind of, let's call it sheltered verse. Let's use a better word for that. It's kind of an agoraphobic lifestyle, right? Where everyone's afraid to go outside because you don't know what's going to happen. You might be okay, you might not. You don't know who's walking around that corner. You don't know who's going to cough on you or sneeze on you. God forbid that happen. We're living in this really, I don't even know what you want to call it. Sometimes it seems like a post-apocalyptic world. So I take walks like really late at night just to look at, so like nobody's around, and I'm walking and it just like seems like it's a post-apocalyptic world. Like everything is just dead, and I'm wondering what's going on. And the only way to get out of that post-apocalyptic kind of like sci-fi movie experience that we're living in is to do research. Now, psychological research is not going to cure COVID. However, there has to be a lot of psychological research because COVID is leading to a huge mental health burden in this country. People are depressed. People that have never been depressed and anxious are depressed and anxious. They don't know what to do. They don't know if they can continue their quarantine forever. There's no answers. There's a lot of unknowns. And that's having a great psychological toil, a lot of turmoil for people. And so the only way to get out of that is research. How do we deal psychologically with COVID or with an pandemic, right? How do we deal with this? We never dealt with it before. Well, unless you want to count 1918. But most of us, well, pretty much all of us, hopefully, I don't know anyone that was alive in 1918. Maybe a couple 100-year-olds that can talk about when they were a baby and they don't remember anything about 1918. But 1918 was a different time, and it was a horrible time, and many people died. But in the modern day, we've never experienced this great turmoil that we're experiencing right now. So, it's kind of a tricky situation. Use of technology, we're talking about PowerPoint. So I give you PowerPoint lectures, post everything to Blackboard. I'm going to show you Blackboard in a second. The weekly guide is the key to Blackboard. So let's go to weekly guide again. So this is course information that I'm in. Go to weekly guide here on the left. This is a key here. So here's your weekly guide. Let's say we're in week 1. Here's your to-do list. So this is basically the dates for week 1. This is what you have to do, chapter 1 and 2. You want to read chapter 1 and 2 in the book, in whatever format you have. Here are your assignments. So the first thing I want you to do is participate in the experiment so I can collect some data for the semester and do the survey. That shouldn't take that long. And then I want you to do Launchpad, the welcome unit, and then Launchpad Chapter 1, Launchpad Chapter 2. And then I want you to do Discussion Board 1. I'm also going to assign the introduction this week. That's due next week. So you have a lot to do in this course because we're compressing a 15, 16-week course into something that's less than 6 weeks. So it's a difficult course in a full semester. It's a challenging course, very challenging course in a summer term. Here are the due dates, the experiment and the survey, 5/31, Launchpad, all modules, 5/31, and the discussion board, 5/31. So here's the multitasking experiment. So you're going to click on this link. It's going to take you to the experiment that you're going to complete. It's going to look like this. You're going to click to start it, and it's going to be an online experiment from the Psych Toolkit website. You're going to complete this. When you get to the end of the experiment, don't hit anything. When you get to that final screen, you want to copy down your scores. So that final screen will look like this. It'll give you your reaction time in pure trials, your reaction time in mixed trials, your reaction time in task repeat trials, and your reaction time in task switching trials. So you want these 4 numbers: pure trials, mixed trials, task repeat trials, task switching trials. You want to copy those numbers down somewhere because you're going to need them in the survey. Once you've gotten to the screen and you've copied down these numbers, you're going to click on the multitasking survey. And that's going to bring you to a Google form that I made for you. So I made a survey for you. And you're going to enter your reaction time in pure trials, your reaction time in mixed trials. You don't have to put milliseconds. Just put the numbers. Just put the numbers for those 4 things I asked you to copy down. Those are right here. Those 4, you're going to type in the numbers. I'm asking you gender, sleep in hours per night, your age in years, your GPA, how often do you act impulsively? Answer that. Do you have trouble paying attention? Answer that. How many hours a day do you use a cell phone? Give me hours. If it's less than an hour, give me a decimal. How many text messages do you send in one day? Give me a number. Then hit submit, and then you're done. So this will only take you 5 minutes to do. The experiment will take you 10 minutes, so a total of 15 minutes to do this part. I want you to do this because this is the data we're going to use for our paper this semester, for our manuscript, and I need to collect your data so I can analyze it. So the best way to do this is right at the start of the course. So I want you to do that in week 1, in addition to the Launchpad and the discussion board. So when you get to the screen of the experiment, so when you click on this multitasking experiment and you get to this end screen, you're going to stop and copy down these 4 numbers here, and then you're going to do the multitasking survey, because I'm studying multitasking here. So this tells you exactly what you have to do. So I provide you video lectures. So these are lectures in YouTube for Chapter 1. I've also attached the slideshow. So if you just want the PowerPoint slides, you have them here. You have the YouTube video here, Chapter 2, YouTube video, PowerPoint, and then the Launchpad here. You have to do these 3. If you click on these, it'll take you to Launchpad. And these are the dates they're due, right? Once you're done with all that, there's some information here on writing the introduction section of your paper. So here's some information on Psych Info if you want to conduct a literature review. And I will also provide you a video on conducting a literature review. So you'll see the video and it'll walk you through what to do in either Google Scholar and Psych Info. But this is a reference sheet. This is writing the introduction instructions. So this tells you exactly what you have to do. Then for the discussion board, so this stuff you need to look into, but it's not due to the 7th. For the discussion board, here is a little worksheet on how to paraphrase. And I want you to paraphrase in the week 1. I want you to paraphrase these three different paragraphs here. That means put them in your own words. So you have what they say. Now you need to put this in your own words. Summarize it in your own words. That's paraphrasing. And the reason I start with paraphrasing is students are used to just copy and pasting from an article, and then they put quotes around it, or they don't put quotes around it, and they hand it in the paper. And I see this all the time, and it's plagiarism. You can't just copy and paste from another article that you find. Even if you give them credit, you can't copy and paste and just put a citation and say that's fine. It's not fine. You must put the information into your own words. So you need to paraphrase everything in this class. Do not use direct quotes ever in psychological research. We don't use direct quotes. And you must paraphrase. And some people struggle with this. So I want to start out with this right away and getting you to understand this is how you paraphrase, this is acceptable. It's tricky. You have to put them in your own words. I mean, this is not easy. You have to synthesize the information. And then you would have to give them credit, of course. If you're paraphrasing from an article, you need to credit the authors of the article. Just can't copy word for word, which too many people are doing these days. It's a lot easier copying word for word, but it's not acceptable. So you have the discussion board 1, and then I have a bunch of videos here I want you to look at for the first 2 chapters. And this is how to use Google Scholar. And I will also make you a walkthrough video. I have it somewhere. I have to post it. And then once you're done with all of that, you're done with week 1. Now, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. But this course is going to be like this. You're going to have a lot of work each week because it's condensed. And you're going to have to be on the ball. So if you have other things going on, you're going to have to sort of set aside more time for this. Okay, so let's go back. So that's your weekly guide. So every week you're going to have the dates here of the week. You have your learning objectives. You click on this, you have all the things to do. And it all starts out with a to-do list. Week 2, you're going to have a lot to do too, right? Here's your to-do list. Make sure you've done all this stuff in the to-do list. Here's the video I was talking about for PsycInfo and Google Scholar search. So this is going to help you with the literature review. To do Google Scholar and PsycInfo. And I will make a video for the introduction, just sort of talking about how to go across and do it. I left you a document on how to do it in week 1, but I'm going to give you a video also of how to do it sometime this week. And then you're going to have more stuff 3 and 4 for week 2. Now, you won't be able to do week 2 until week 2. So I'm not going to give you access to the whole course. You get access to the course every week. So you can't jump ahead. Also, the Launchpad will lock you out if you're late. So basically, it'll give you a 0. So please do the Launchpad on time every week. Because if you don't do it on time, it will actually give you a 0 for the assignment. So I'm emphasizing basically that you need to be on the ball and, up to date with these things. And it's going to be a lot of work. But it's the summer. It's a summer unlike any other summer you've probably ever experienced. It's not going to be as fun a summer as you would like, probably. So if it's not as fun, you'll have more time to do this. So don't think of it as kind of, I'm trying to make you suffer here, but we got to move forward with this stuff. You want to graduate, you want to move on to bigger and better things. This course is a stepping stone towards that. And I want to make sure you know what you're doing so that when you take the research methods course at the senior college, which you will, now to take this course again, you're going to say, oh, I remember some of this stuff. I've done some of this already. It's not going to be thrown on you. It's going to be a lot easier to digest at the four-year college. So that's basically what you do. The weekly guide is the key. Every week, do everything in the weekly guide, and you're good. The assignments tab here has all the instructions for each section. So you have the introduction, you have the method, the discussion, and the title, abstract, references. So you can click on these to get you the information how to write each section of the paper, right? And I'll be making videos for each section as well. And then I will post links here where you can submit your assignment online. So everything is submitted through Turnitin, which checks for plagiarism, checks for everything. So be very careful. Make sure you paraphrase and make sure you cite in APA style, which is author, date. Cite your paraphrase. Do not use direct quotes. Because if you copy word for word and just dump it into the paper, Turnitin is going to tell me you copied this amount from this source. And it tells me everything. It even tells me papers that have been submitted in the past. So I've had students try to submit papers that other people have already submitted years ago, and Turnitin tells me this was from a paper that was submitted years ago. So don't be lazy. Paraphrase, do your own work. Don't copy from websites, from journals, word for word. Make sure you paraphrase, and definitely don't copy from other students, because I will know. And when you do sort of these things, you get zeros. And a 0 on your manuscript in this class is basically guaranteed failing. So don't be lazy. And don't try to pull one on me because it doesn't work. This is going to make me upset. I'm very easy to deal with, but when people try to take advantage of the situation, I can be less easy to deal with. So that's basically the assignments tab. So that's where you'll be submitting all your assignments through the assignments tab, all your papers, and then I will post the exams and stuff in the future, and they'll be under the weekly guide when you have a midterm and you have a final. So let's go back to the syllabus again. Let me find this if I can find the syllabus. Let's go back here again. So I talked about the weekly guide, Launchpad, talked about that too. This is another link I provided you on the syllabus for the Launchpad that you need to register for. The research paper that I talked about, you're going to have to write the introduction, the method, the discussion, and the title, abstract, and references. I will write the results section for you. Every week you have to submit a different section. I will then grade each of those rough drafts, and I will give you suggestions, and you'll get a grade out of 10 points for each of those rough drafts. So you have 4 rough drafts. You will then be asked to revise these 4 portions of the manuscript that you submitted. Based on my comments, you're going to revise them and then resubmit them along with the results section, which I will write for you. So you're just going to take the results section that I write and you're just going to copy and paste it into the final paper. You're going to submit me the final manuscript at the end of the semester. The grade for the research paper will be 50% of the rough draft grades and 50% for the revised paper. And the reason it's 50 and 50 is because plenty of people don't want to do the rough drafts, they just want to do the final paper. And if you feel like not doing the rough drafts, you're going to lose 50% of your grade. And you're probably going to submit something that I'm going to completely destroy when I grade it, because you won't know what you're doing. So think of the rough drafts as a learning experience. You want to put effort into it because it's graded, right? But I'm going to give you suggestions to make your final paper better. And your final paper is going to be a hell of a lot better if you do the rough drafts and if you listen to my comments and then change things than if you don't do the rough draft at all and just hand me the final paper. It's going to be a mess. And if you don't listen to any of the comments I give you, I've had students where I've been telling them all semester, this is wrong, you need to change this. And then they hand me the final paper and it's the same thing, same mistakes. They haven't read any of my comments. And so then I graded, I'm like, this is a disaster. You're not listening to me. So please, I take the time out to give you comments so you listen to them, make the adjustment, and learn. Because this is the best way to learn, is submit rough drafts, have me read through them, comment on them, and you learn what works and what doesn't work. Please take my comments into suggestion when you write the final copy of the paper. And if you do this, you're going to be fine in this class. This class is going to be easy. So if you work at this class and you listen to my comments and you listen to what I tell you and study what I tell you, you're going to be fine. If you don't do those things, you're going to struggle. So please listen to me. I don't want to waste my time. I'm trying to help you. Class participation, obviously, I'll know this based on if you do the assignments, do the discussion boards, and do the paper. There's not going to be an in-class experience because it's fully online, but I'll know if you're doing the work. If there's a problem, you need to contact me through email and let me know I'm having a problem. Just do not disappear, then show up at the end of the semester and say, oh, I had a lot of problems, I had problems with work, I had problems with family, I had problems with my kids, I had problems with my siblings, etc., my partner. I couldn't do the work. I should have told you earlier, but I'm telling you now, 2 days before final exam. That's not going to work. If there's a problem, you need to address it immediately, and I need to then advise you on what we're going to do. And I'm willing to work with you if there's a problem. I work with students all the time. I am very understanding of things. However, I'm not understanding of people that just disappear and then come back 5 weeks later and say, "Can I do all this stuff? I was busy or something happened." You got to let me know. Keep me in the loop if there's an issue. If there's a problem with food or housing or finances or health insurance or something else that's interfering in your life, go to Single Stop. They will help you the best they can. They have a food pantry, so if you're really struggling, and I know people are struggling right now, it's a really bad time. So if you're really struggling, contact Single Stop. They're going to help you. They help students of mine with housing, with food, with all kinds of things. And I always refer to them. They're good people. They're going to help you. They'll help you as much as they can help you. So if you need help, ask for it. Single Stop is the place to go. Obviously, email them or call them because they're probably, I don't know how many people are working at the school right now, not many, if any, at the moment. The counseling center, another place. If you're struggling with anxiety, depression, something else, contact the counseling center. They're doing a whole bunch of Skype therapies or virtual therapies. So even if you can't go in person, you could do it through Skype, or you could do it through FaceTime or whatever else you're comfortable using. Um, they'll help you. Zoom even, Zoom counseling. So you can get yourself some help. And I think a lot of us need help right now. It's been a very stressful time. If you experience any kind of discrimination or harassment, including sexual harassment, you should contact the Office of Compliance and Diversity and talk to them about what to, file a complaint or what you need to do with them. So if you experience any of these things, please contact the Office of Compliance and Diversity. If you need extra time for your exams, if you need, accommodations in general with your courses, including this course, please contact the Office of Accessibility. I cannot give you accommodations unless they tell me to give you accommodations. So if you need accommodations, make sure they agree with you and they approve it, and they send me an email saying that you need accommodations. That includes extra time on the test. That includes the help of tutors or disability specialists. They're very helpful people. You need to contact them and get the approval to me so that I can implement it. And of course, plagiarism, as I mentioned before, if you plagiarize, depending on how much you plagiarize, the penalty is usually F. So please do not copy, do not cheat, do not copy word for word. Some students accidentally plagiarize, and if you accidentally plagiarize, I don't necessarily fail you, but your grade suffers as a result. Because I'm telling you right now, you cannot copy and paste. You cannot copy and paste and give me direct quotes. You must paraphrase. You must put things into your own words and then give credit in the form of a citation. Grading, there's 2 exams, a midterm and a final. You have the Launchpad homework assignments. Those are every week. You have discussion boards. There's 5 of them, 1 every week. And then you have the research paper, which is 25%. And that includes the rough draft is half of that, the rough draft average, and then the final paper grade is half of that. So you got a lot of different things here to take into account. You need to do the work, basically. If you don't do the work, you're going to struggle. This is the tentative class schedule per week. And obviously make sure that your bill is paid, your payment is clear, financial aid, etc., through the bursar's office, and that you're registered for the class through the registrar's office. If you are not registered for the class, you cannot get a grade in the class. If you're not cleared through the bursar's office, you're going to get a hold, and if they feel like it, they can drop your entire schedule. So they'll just drop your credits. So make sure you contact them. If you can't pay a bill, make sure they know about it. You make arrangements with them. Now, they are being very flexible in terms of money owed to the college. They used to be really strict, but with COVID, they're becoming more flexible because students are having trouble financially. So you may owe a little bit more money and still be able to take classes. Eventually, though, you're going to have to pay that money off in some way. So they don't let you owe unlimited money. You're going to owe a little bit more. Contact them, work it out with them, see what they say in terms of financial aid and how much you can pay at the time. So we're doing 11 chapters in the book and the appendix, which is a total of 12 chapters. So that's a lot. We're doing basically the entire book. I took out 1 chapter that I don't have time for, but we're doing basically the entire book and pretty much everything we do during a semester, full semester. I mean, there's less discussion boards than there was during the full semester because I didn't want to kill you with that. But everything else is pretty much the same as the entire semester. So that's the syllabus. The course guide is the to-do list that I showed you before. So this basically tells you each week what you have to do. And I also put this into the to-do list, which is in every week. I basically copy and paste it into every week. So this course guide is a good aid here to tell you what you need to do, what you need to read, the assignments that are due for every week. And then you have your final exams here. So print out this course guide and keep it with you and refer to it because this is going to help you stay on track. And if there's questions, you can contact me through email or Zoom or whatnot and take care of it. So for this week, Launchpad, Welcome Unit, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in Launchpad, Discussion Board 1, read the 2 chapters, Chapter 1 and 2, and do the experiment online that I gave you and do the survey. That only takes 10 to 15 minutes. So please do that as well. And that's pretty much it for week 1 and sort of getting used to what's going on here. And I think it's pretty easily laid out. If there's anything I need to talk to you about, you're going to find it under announcements. You want to use this weekly guide tab all the time. And if there's any questions, you can email me. But check the syllabus, check the course guide, check the weekly guide, and everything's on there. It's pretty easy to follow. So I'm going to let you go after that. Hopefully this helps you navigate the course better, and I'll be making more videos in the future with regard to writing up the different parts of the manuscript. So you're going to see that shortly. So in the meantime, enjoy the course, and I hope I'll be talking to you down the line.